Hey there, Tarot lovers. Right, we have our card of the day, which is the Nine of Swords. So, the imagery in this card is the nine swords floating in the air just above the head of a person who is waking up from their sleep, it appears, with their head in their hands, having a nightmare. This is a card which is quite dark in nature, and the swords are dark in general, but this is one of the darker cards, and there's this feeling of pain and trauma, and this nightmare energy which makes us afraid. And this card seems quite full of darker emotions, and it comes up when darker emotions are being revealed, but it's not necessarily a dark message. And there are important things to look at when this card comes up. So first of all, let's have a look at what this card is talking about, and in general when it refers to these darker nature. So this is a very much a card talking about shadow stories, talking about emotions that we repress, ideas and belief systems that we are unconscious of, that sit in our shadow, that we are unaware of, that create more negative emotional responses in our life and cause us to have negative feelings in our lives on a day-to-day basis. Now, this might be a fear, it might be shame, it might be guilt, it might be loss, it might be sadness, it might be anything from self-doubt to feeling worry or anxiety. Now, all of these emotions that we have that are negative in nature, we normally don't focus on, we normally don't want to give them the time of day. We may find ourselves repressing these feelings and hiding these feelings and avoiding these feelings and doing the best that we can to not have that energy consciously in our life. And so we've done this for a long time, and these have become programs, and programs that are automated in our autopilot system of living means that we do this unconsciously, and we don't look at certain feelings, and we don't look at certain experiences where there may have been pain and trauma and suffering in our past. And yet these experiences need to be felt, need to be seen, need to be recognized. There's a lesson there, there's an attachment there, there is a part of us holding on to a certain belief that isn't true to us, and so we need to see this belief, we need to recognize this habit, this conditioning, and this addiction to this emotional suppression that we have. This is the shadow work in its essence. And when this card comes up, it shows that what we are hiding from, or what we are not willing to see, or what is locked away in our subconscious, is coming to the surface. It's wanting to be seen, it's ready to be recognized. And when we wake up, when we have dreams and nightmares of darkness, this is when we are doing a good job at repressing our feelings, but that's something that really wants to be seen, and so it comes out in our subconscious dreams. And we might think, oh my God, that was a really bad dream, and let's try and avoid that and forget about that. But then that's just us doing the same again. The dreams are a wonderful opportunity to look at experiences and to look at the metaphor that dreams represent, and see what the lesson is that's there, and see what it is that we are actually holding on to, and we might not be willing to openly encounter or experience in our waking life, and so we're forced to see it in our sleep life. And this is actually a great message, because it's saying that there is something here that you're ready to look at, that there's a part of you that's ready to process, ready to see, ready to work with, and maybe a lesson that's ready to be learned. All of our lessons come with emotional attachments to them, and they all come with this old programming in our mind, and they were instilled at an early age, usually with some traumatic experience or some experiences repetitive that caused us a certain habitual way of thinking, and caused belief systems to be made, and programs to be made inside of our subconscious mind. And these programs don't serve us, so there comes a time when we have to change them, shift them, grow and learn, and that's what this card is offering us. It's offering us a chance to do this. The 9 comes before the death of the 10 of swords. And so it's like a preparation for change. This is a card that's preparing us for change. If we are holding on to, let's say, a victim mentality, beware. If we are holding on to blaming the world on the outside for what's going on inside of ourselves, hey, take a look inside. Stop and just breathe into your body and sit. This is a great time to sit with the discomfort of those emotions that are coming up in our dream world. This is a great time to provoke these emotions in our daily waking life, and maybe actively ask ourselves to question, oh, what's that about? What is this feeling all about? You know, when we choose to bring them up in our daily life, it's not about really focusing on the negative, because another aspect of this card can be mental disorders that may come from this excessive repression, and then an extreme expression of negativity that may come out in depression or just really strong pessimism in our life. And it's not about focusing on the negative in order to augment or increase our own negative pessimism, but it's about allowing us to feel the fullness of certain negative feelings so that we stop repressing the lessons that are behind them. Behind all of this sorrow and all of this grief that we might not be willing to meet is compassion for the whole of humanity, compassion for ourselves primarily, and this world level of compassion when we feel this strong empathy with everybody else who can suffer and is suffering at the same time. There could be an energy of this card about picking up on other people's vibes and other people's energy. And we do this when we also are repressing similar type stories, and we'll see it in somebody else, and somebody else will be a mirror for it, even though we might not own it ourselves. And this is a chance to own these stories so that we can move on, so that we can release and let go, and prep ourselves for change. That's part of the message of the 9 of Swords. I hope it served you in some way, and if you have anything going on, take time out today just to sit with yourself, maybe your negative feelings, and call upon them just to bring them up. If you're suffering from depression and more serious mental stories, then get help from somebody, get help from a friend, or get help from a professional who can coach you through this process in a safer way. Shadow work is not something to dive into if you are mentally unstable in any way, shape or form. So if this is your case, don't call upon more negative feelings, but look for help instead. Anyway, that's just a little bit of extra advice. I hope your day is full of love and embracing the shadow.